you know, and she, what? But you gonna give your husband access to therapy and say you need to do this therapy, boo, for your sake, because you just angry. Go do this therapy, honey, because I can't stand you. Go do it. But then she gonna pick a lie from, you know, our cloud swarming of lies and say on the Oprah show, yeah, I went to try to get help for my mental health, and I was silenced, that it wouldn't look good. Lie. Lie, 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 lie. Like all day long, lying. Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to my channel. So much yet again going on with the infamous couple. I'm going to be talking a little bit about what the most recent news is, and that is, of course, Mr. Windsor and his therapy. We know he's been having open therapy in front of the whole world. And to me, you know, you look at someone who is offering to put themselves in a global spotlight to do therapy. Think about it. One of the most vulnerable things you can do is to open yourself up emotionally to people while being filmed. Because you are essentially taking yourself and saying, I am raw. I am completely bare, raw, naked, and I am going to divulge my innermost thoughts and emotions to people to watch for the sake of entertainment. And this was something that I had caught that Lady C had mentioned, and it's so true. Now, the difference between what I had mentioned about someone like Mr. Windsor doing therapy and exposing himself, as opposed to other celebrities that actually have talent and that have their day jobs, and they're coming on as a little side piece to kind of be vulnerable and to show how they deal with their mental health, is completely different, because they're talking about themselves. They're going into their innermost emotions for the sake of entertainment, essentially, exactly like Lady C said. But they're not doing it for reasons that would suggest they're just trying to get a paycheck, because they have their day jobs. They're already successful in their own right. Now, to each his own whether or not they want to do something like that. But we see with Mr. Windsor and how he is choosing to go on television and to divulge himself in a bare, raw state of emotion. This is his job. This is essentially his job. So right there, that tells you, you're doing this for money. You are essentially going on bearing your soul to pay your bills. That is what Mr. Windsor is doing. And not only that, but what else makes it different is because he is also bearing his soul, and he is dragging his family in with him. He's like, look, I'm getting ready to go to therapy. I'm getting ready to be on this reality show. And y'all royal family, y'all coming with me. Y'all the stars of the show. And the royal family, they don't know nothing about it. That's why they got to not say anything. Have you noticed? They're not really going to divulge information about the things that Harry and his wife are doing, because they don't want to get caught up into the drama. They're just going about their business. You know, Kate just doing Kate, you know, William doing William, the Queen doing the Queen. Everybody just going on like, hi. You know, they're showing up at their charity events and smiling and have their masks on, and, you know, everything is good. But let me assure you, back at home, they seething. They're seething. They're like, Harry Windsor. So they have to not engage with Mr. Windsor in order to keep themselves separate from the drama. But this is the problem. When Harry does his therapy and his drama, you know, he's pulling in the rest of his family. He's like, okay, when I was a child, my father was horrible. And then he's talking about his father. Then all of a sudden, his father is a part of his therapy that is being broadcast to the world. And that's not fair to do. If you're going to expose yourself for having issues and needing therapy, don't be bringing in your family. Now, it's different if you weren't a celebrity or very well known and you said my grandmama this and my papa this. Well, people don't know who that is. They can be anonymous. But because you are Harry Windsor, well, hey, you say grandmama and people are going to be like, oh, he talking about the queen. You see what I'm saying? So Harry doesn't have anonymity to just speak openly. He is essentially purposely choosing to indulge and to engage his own family into his sessions. And how is that right to do? Doesn't the queen have a right not to be thrown out into the circus and into the world for the world to see? Is this not supposed to be private information that he is speaking about? Is it okay for Harry to get, hey, good for you, Mr. Windsor, that you are speaking about your health, your mental health. But what about the mental health of his grandmama and his papa and all of his family? What about the institution? What about the monarchy, the firm? Like, he is a part of something that is very great and big. And so this is why something like the monarchy, then they're a cohesive unit. Like, they have to communicate together so that when they are out working and branding and doing things, they're not stepping on each other's toes. They are one unit, essentially. And here we have this rogue piece, Mr. Harry Windsor, trying to get off the boat and say, no, I'm bringing y'all down with the ship. We all going down. If it's just me, it ain't going to be just me. I'm taking all y'all with me. Since I don't know what I want to do with my life. I'm essentially just the black sheep of the family. And you know what? I don't like it. And I am going to just throw everybody under the bus. And we going to all go skidding down the street. That's what he's saying, essentially. Because if you are not thinking that you want to protect and help the mental health of your own family, you would not do what he did with that Oprah special. You would not do it. And like Lady C said, doing it yet alone for entertainment purposes. That is wrong to do. Especially when you are dragging other people in. It's wrong to do, but I think what makes it more egregious is that you have your famous family coming along for the ride, and that's wrong. And so what I wanted to read from today was this article that said, Prince William reportedly can't comprehend why Prince Harry is throwing his family under the bus. Why is he doing this? Well, I know that just by looking at the fact that he is willing to be so vulnerable in therapy on a global stage, and mind you, about the problems he said when he sees a camera and when he has to go back and think about what happened to his mother, wouldn't that all be a part of his therapy? He's doing something that he did not want to do in front of cameras, essentially, because it gives him anxiety. Remember in South Africa when he said that? And now he's doing it because he's certainly going to speak about the death of his mother, because that's a contributing factor of his mental health issues. And now he's doing it on film when the clicks, he says, gives him anxiety. This clip right here.
Every single time I see a camera, every single time I hear a click, every single time I see a flash, it takes me straight back. So in that respect, it's the worst reminder of her life as opposed to the best.
You see the contradiction? You see how the lies and everything is just kind of swirling all like up there. It's like a bunch of lies. It's like, which lie you gonna catch today? Oh, I'm gonna catch this lie. Okay, does this go with the narrative, love? Okay, we're gonna tell this lie today. And then there's more lies, and we're gonna catch other lies, and they're not flies, they're lies. And they're catching them, y'all, and they just spewing them out there. And then I want to go into the whole heads together thing, which is... that's the other lie, essentially, because when they were doing the heads together, they were talking in 2017, 3 months before the wedding with Meghan, and also before Meghan even came into the scene. They were having therapy, and William had opened up with Harry about going into therapy well before, you know, he had met Meghan. They had their own foundation.
Why has together and why mental health? It's your idea. It's your idea.
It's a common thread, wasn't it? Mental health sort of seemed to run between all the different areas that we were working in. So whether it's homelessness and the military with yourself and addiction with me and bereavement, there's a sort of underlying thread, wasn't there, of mental health. And this idea that I suppose all of us coming together to find a common theme and to show people how to have those, what we're calling sort of simple conversations and starting those conversations, which is often the hardest bit, really.
So when you hear Harry say that Meghan is the one that had, you know, persuaded him to get help because of his anger and his drug and all these issues he was dealing with, y'all, that was a lie. Let's pick that lie. That was a lie. Because essentially he had already done that with his brother William and Kate. And Kate was the one who was trying to say we need to pay attention to our health. Here's another video that William did.
I really think this is a pivotal moment in the change in mental health. I really feel we're on the cusp of something really big. And I know the BBC are keen to continue covering mental health and really trying to make that change. As you can see, you know, I have my own reasons for being involved in mental health. What happened to me, my mother when I was younger.
Do you see what I'm saying? But what I've always said, the bigger issue are the people that don't pay attention, or the people who don't care, the people who overlook all of the lies that are swarming above us. There are people that just don't care. And that's where it becomes dangerous. But I digress. Let me get into my article. So he recently revealed on this show personal details about his royal exit, and that it didn't go over well with Prince William. And we know that. And if I was Prince William, I'd be like, yeah, that's right, Harry Windsor. It didn't go well because you wanted to bring this skank into our family. Right. It didn't go well because look at the mess we're in now. Look at the mess we're in now. You done threw us all under the bus when I told you to take your time with marrying this woman that you hardly know. And look where we are now. It's like, can you not see that, Mr. Windsor? Yeah. Because that's my advice to William. You know, he gonna try to say that that was something that was bad, that you didn't accept his Meghan in the beginning. Be like, that's right. I didn't accept her because I knew she was trouble from the beginning. Own it, Mr. Prince William. Own it. That's what I would do. So following the debut of Prince Harry and Oprah Winfrey's new mental health series on Apple TV, The Me You Can't See, things apparently began to get more strained between the royal brothers. Now, this is the one thing that I cannot understand. Why is it that they had some kind of coming together, some making up sessions during the funeral of Prince Philip? You know, we saw Kate trying to get the brothers to come together and talk. And then what happens? This series comes out. It was first the Oprah interview with Meghan, and now it's the Oprah show with Harry and The Me You Can't See. And it's like they probably filmed it before the funeral with Prince Philip, but still, this is why people had to give him the side eye when he came to the funeral, because they knew that he had already done some filming with Oprah on this mental health series, or they knew other things were going to come out later. So it was well within the family's reason to essentially say, look, I don't want nothing to do with Harry because he got a TV camera following him around everywhere. You know, it's like The Office when you look at Harry. It's like everywhere he go, he's talking to the camera. You know, and the minute you say something, you already on the show getting ready to fill out contracts and, you know, everything's getting ready to happen because you done got another job just because you spoke out and said something. So you got to be careful when you're around people like Harry and his wife, because they're trying to pull people into their drama. William feels that Harry should discuss these issues privately. He cannot comprehend why he continues to shade his own flesh and blood on TV. A source told US Weekly, well, we know the reason why, because he got to pay the bills. He's like, I got to go on TV, y'all. Somebody got to pay me some money to be on here and expose myself being vulnerable because I got to pay that mortgage, you know, so it makes sense. This is why he's doing it. Let me ask you this. If Harry didn't have to earn a living, if he didn't have to make money, do you think he would do this? No, he would not. No, he would not. But his wife is pushing him out there to do this because she knows the power that he can garner with his name to make the money. Of course, mental health is a serious issue, but William can't get his head around Harry, how he keeps throwing the family under the bus. Okay, so throughout the series, Prince Harry opened up about, what had led him to seek therapy in order to destigmatize the conversation surrounding mental health. Now, we know Harry has been talking about this destigmatizing the issues around mental health with his brother. His brother and Kate had already been talking about this before Meghan came in. And so Harry is essentially trying to pick back up on what they started and okay, I'm taking this. This is mine. I'm taking this as what I'm going to do. And I'm going to talk about the destigmatization of mental health. Y'all, what we did before, I don't know y'all. That's a lie he gonna throw up there. He gonna throw that lie up there and say, I don't know nothing about us talking with heads together. Heads together, what? Okay. So from the argument with Meghan Markle that pushed him to see a professional to its effect on his family, the Duke of Sussex did not hold back about the damage done by his royal life in the spotlight. This is once again, you're talking about your life in the spotlight. Remember, you got other people in the spotlight with you, Mr. Windsor. So you just taking them all down with you. This is what the other people need to see that appreciate what he is doing. If you appreciate Harry being vulnerable and putting mental health on the table as if this is something he just thought up, that he never did before. If you can appreciate him doing this, you can also appreciate, then why would he pull his famous family into this with him? Why would he jeopardize the mental health of other people that did not agree to be vulnerable and naked on a camera? Is that fair to do to them? So you have to also question his motives. One of the most painful moments for Prince Harry was what had occurred with his wife was suffering from suicidal thoughts. I thought my family would help, but every single ask, request, warning, whatever, just got me in total silence, total neglect. Lie. Lie. It's unbelievable. And you could not get support for your mental health? Harry Windsor, we're picking up serious flies now. These are some big flies. Because that's a provable lie. You got the lies that we know, okay, by circumstance, okay, that could probably be a lie. But when there's evidence of you, then that's a big lie. Because we got supporting evidence that you lying. This is what is so unimaginable to me, that you could be this clueless to think that people can't pull up stuff that you did before and kind of put two and two together to think, oh, wait a minute, you lying. I thought my family would help. Okay, every single ask. Okay, so he's going into all of his lying. So on one episode, okay, so he spent years trying to make it work. He says he spent years trying to make it work. Sure, you did, Mr. Harry. You the victim. You the victim. You ain't did nothing to make it not work. You the victim. Okay, we got you. So what he did everything possibly that he could, so he could stay there and carry on doing the role and doing the job. But Meghan was struggling. Whew. Then you got the Meghan lies. You just got the lies. I'm swatting flies all day long reading this article. Because it's like, y'all didn't want to stay. Y'all just making up lies. Now we got the lies that we just make up for convenience sake. We just gonna make up a lie. Oh, I wanted to stay, but I couldn't because, they weren't helping Meghan. That's what he said on the series. So Prince Harry also spoke about the vicious cycle of suffering passed along throughout the royal family. My father used to say to me when I was younger, he used to say to William and I, well, it was like that for me, so it's going to be like that for you. That just doesn't make sense, he said during the show's third episode. Just because you suffered doesn't mean that your kids have to suffer. In fact, quite the opposite. If you suffer, do everything you can to make sure that whatever experiences, negative experiences that you had, you can make it right for your kids. So here's the thing, you guys, that really hits personal for me. When I was a young girl, I had issues with just things, with how I grew up. I'd be like, well, Mom, why this? And Mom, that's not right. And Mom and Dad, and you know, crying and like thinking all my life, like my parents suck. Just y'all suck. I don't like y'all. But then when I got older, I was like, oh, I see why that happened and why they did that. Or I gave them the benefit of the doubt and said, you know what? They did the best that they could with what they knew at the time. And that's the difference. This is why, you know, Harry is very immature in his thinking. Because even at the age that he is now, if he cannot see that your parents do the best that they can at the time with what they know, because they love you, they're not going to purposely say, okay, suffer. Ugh. Child, suffer. I don't care. I suffered. You gonna suffer. No. This is how it was. How else am I going to change it? I'm doing what I can do. And if by chance you are suffering and I had to suffer, well, hey, that's just what it's going to be. How in the world do you think you can just give your children a life completely exactly what they want? With what his father had and knew at the time was what he knew and had at the time. It doesn't say he didn't love his son. But what Harry needs to be doing at this moment is saying, my father did the best that he could with what he had and what he knew at the time. He knew his father still loved him, but he is going to say this now, grab a lie and say, yeah, this is an issue. I can talk about this on my series to give me some really good content. Yeah, I'm just going to say my father, he is the reason. Yeah, come on, let's do this. Turn the camera on. Let's go. Okay. They're saying the damage is done. That's right. If you don't want to be a part of the reality show, don't say nothing to Harry, because you know what? He got you, and you a leading cast member on the reality show of Harry and his wife. So apparently the Queen has got news of what's happened, and yeah, she said, she's reported to say that she's very upset about it. And I mean, who can blame her? The Queen didn't sign up for this. And you know, and this to me, it just really comes down at the end of the day, it just comes down to Meghan. It comes down to the fact that she's the cause of all of this. We know it. I mean, we may be seeing Harry Windsor, but behind Harry, you better just infuse his wife, because that's where it's coming from. She's the puppeteer. And she is pulling the strings, and she's the reason. She's done it to her own family, and now she's doing it to her husband's family. And for me, I'm thinking about watching the series just so that I can report on it. I really am very not really wanting to watch it, but just so that I can really give my firsthand account on what I see and talk about it. I'm thinking about watching it for you guys, and then you can kind of just listen to what I have to say about it if you don't want to watch it. I know some people have already said that they're not going to even keep their Apple subscriptions. They're so upset, and I don't blame you, because, you know, we're essentially watching this couple ruin the lives of their families, because now they're speaking about their families. They're speaking about the trauma that has been caused by the people that are in their family. And we know Harry's just going to have to talk about those who are in his life. But yeah, the Queen says she is deeply upset. Harry's grandmother has taken this very personally and is deeply upset by what Harry has said, and particularly his comments about Charles's parenting, and suggesting that his father knows no better because of how he was brought up. It has been a very upsetting time. And this is what's so sad, that the queen has to put up with this just right after the death of her husband. It's like this old nonsense knucklehead grandson, like, why y'all giving him a platform? Look at what he's doing. And this is how, as someone who is so immature, because he can't even see the repercussions. He can't even see what his actions are doing and causing to other people that he supposedly loves. You might be able to justify, I need therapy, I got to get help. But do you got to do it on the world stage? And second, do you got to do it knowing that you have a famous family? This is what is so unconscionable to me, that you don't have the mind to understand that you are wielding power that you have in a very dangerous way that is detrimental to the mental health of the people that you actually love. And the contradiction behind you saying you suffered from mental health, but at the same time, you're causing mental health problems to other people. Oprah says, hurt people hurt, healed people heal. Harry and Meghan, that they have hurt a lot of people and they are hurting their families. And to me, it's not really even about, saying that, they're hurt. I wouldn't give Harry and his wife the out like, oh, they're hurt. Look what they went through as children, or look at what Harry went through with children. You know what I'd say? I'd say he a spoiled brat. That's what I would say. There's a difference between being hurt and being spoiled. Being spoiled rotten to the core. Ain't nothing about him that is even worthy of people listening to him about what he went through. It's like you want us to be sympathetic to how you grew up and how your father put you through stuff, all while you had nannies and chauffeurs and you had all this luxury in your life. But we supposed to, on this one thing, be like, oh, his daddy hurt him. His daddy hurt him. Shame on you, Charles. Your son was hurt. Didn't you see that? Didn't you see what you did to your son? I ain't got sympathy for you. Why would I have sympathy for you when at the extreme of the situation, or the other side of the whole situation, you had a very overprivileged life? But yeah, we're supposed to sympathize that your father hurt you. Get out of here. I ain't listening to you.